The invisible life beneath your soil is the real engine that drives every successful garden, and if you understand it, your plants will outperform anything grown with fertilizers alone. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to Evergreen Garden and drop a comment telling us what you're growing this season, because this channel is about real gardening knowledge that actually changes results. Many gardeners focus on seeds, fertilizers, and watering schedules, but the truth is that none of that matters if the underground ecosystem is weak. Gardens don't thrive because of what you add on top of the soil. They thrive because of what's already alive inside it. Healthy gardens are built by organisms you never see. Soil is not dirt. Dirt is dead. Soil is alive, and a single teaspoon of healthy garden soil can contain billions of microorganisms working non-stop. Bacteria, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, arthropods, and earthworms form a living network that feeds plants, protects roots, and builds structure underground. Plants don't directly absorb most nutrients from fertilizers. Instead, soil organisms convert raw minerals and organic matter into plant-available forms. Without them, nutrients either wash away or lock up unused. Bacteria are, well, the first responders in soil life. They break down fresh organic matter like compost, green manure, and even kitchen scraps. As they feed, they release nitrogen in forms plant roots can actually absorb. A practical example is compost tea or diluted compost slurry. Mixing 1 part finished compost with 5 parts water and applying it to moist soil introduces active bacteria that, really jumpstart nutrient cycling around roots. Fungal networks are what honestly separate average soil from exceptional soil. Mycorrhizal fungi attach themselves to plant roots and extend these microscopic threads far beyond the root zone. These threads increase nutrient and water access by up to 10 times. In exchange, plants feed fungi sugars produced through photosynthesis. This relationship is frankly ancient and essential. Gardeners can support fungi by avoiding deep tilling and excessive synthetic fertilizers. High phosphorus fertilizers especially suppress mycorrhizal activity. When planting trees, tomatoes, peppers, or fruit crops, dusting roots lightly with mycorrhizal inoculant or mixing it into planting holes at a rate of roughly 1 teaspoon per transplant gives fungi a head start. Mulching with leaf litter or straw feeds fungal growth over time and, really improves soil structure naturally. Protozoa and beneficial nematodes, act as nutrient regulators in the soil. They feed on bacteria and fungi, and in the process they release nitrogen in exactly the amounts that plants need. This is why, honestly, gardens rich in life rarely suffer from nutrient deficiencies, even if you don't feed them all that often. A practical way to support this cycle is, consistent organic matter input. Applying compost at a depth of about 2 to 5 centimeters, once or maybe twice a year, provides continuous food. Overwatering should be avoided because waterlogged soil will suffocate these organisms. You want moist soil, not saturated soil, to keep that predator-prey balance active and productive. Earthworms don't just live in healthy soil, they actually create it. As they burrow, they aerate the ground and improve drainage. Their castings contain concentrated nutrients, beneficial microbes, and plant growth hormones. Worm castings typically contain about 5 times more nitrogen, 7 times more phosphorus, and 11 times more potassium than the surrounding soil. Gardeners can increase earthworm populations by keeping soil covered and avoiding chemical inputs. Adding partially decomposed organic matter like aged manure or chopped crop residues feeds worms directly. A simple ratio that works well is mixing 1 part worm castings with 4 parts garden soil for seed starting or transplant backfill. This provides a gentle biological boost without burning roots. All soil organisms need oxygen, moisture, and shelter. Compacted soil collapses air spaces and destroys habitat. That's why gardens fail even when nutrients are present. Good soil structure looks crumbly and holds together when squeezed, but breaks apart easily. Building structure requires patience, not force. Double digging and heavy tillage destroy fungal networks and compact deeper layers. Instead, top-dressing compost and using mulch allows organisms to rebuild structure naturally. A yearly application of compost at about 3 centimeters thick, followed by organic mulch, improves aggregation steadily season after season. Mulch is food, armor, and climate control for soil life. Bare soil is hostile soil. Sunlight kills microbes, temperature swings stress roots, and rainfall erodes structure. Mulch protects the underground ecosystem while feeding it at the same time. Organic mulches such as straw, shredded leaves, grass clippings, or wood chips decompose at different speeds, feeding different organisms. Vegetable beds benefit from lighter mulches like straw or chopped leaves applied at 5 to 8 centimeters thick. Perennials and fruit trees respond well to wood chips applied at 8 to 12 centimeters, kept a few centimeters away from trunks. Over time, this creates fungal-rich soil that holds moisture and suppresses disease. Synthetic fertilizers deliver nutrients directly, but, they bypass biology. Over time, soil life declines because there is simply no incentive for microbes to work. Pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides often kill beneficial organisms along with pests. This creates a dependency where more chemicals are needed each season to achieve the same results. Gardeners transitioning away from chemicals often notice slower growth initially, but then stronger plants with fewer pest issues tend to follow. A balanced organic approach using compost, mulch, and biological inputs restores resilience. Once soil life is active, plants regulate their own nutrient uptake and become naturally resistant to stress. Finished compost introduces microbes, organic matter, and stable nutrients. It improves water retention in sandy soils and drainage in clay soils. Quality compost, well, it smells earthy, not sour, and contains a mix of particle sizes. For general garden use, applying compost at a rate of 1 wheelbarrow per 10 square meters once or twice a year is sufficient. For heavy feeders like tomatoes and brassicas, incorporating compost into planting holes at a ratio of 1 part compost to 2 parts native soil provides sustained nutrition without overwhelming the system. Plants actively shape their soil environment by releasing sugars, amino acids, and enzymes through their roots. These exudates attract specific microbes that deliver nutrients and protect against pathogens. This means crop diversity matters underground as much as above ground. Rotating crops and interplanting different species, really increases microbial diversity. Legumes, for example, support nitrogen-fixing bacteria, while deep-rooted plants bring minerals upward. And cover crops like cowpeas, clover, or oats, when grown and then cut down before flowering, feed soil organisms continuously and prevent nutrient loss during those off-seasons. When soil life thrives, problems, they often solve themselves. Healthy soil regulates water, resists disease, and even buffers against temperature extremes. Plants grown in living soil show stronger root systems, thicker stems, and improved flavor and nutrition. Pest pressure decreases because plants actually produce stronger defense compounds when nutrients are balanced biologically. This is not theory. Gardeners who focus on soil life consistently report fewer inputs, better harvests, and, honestly, less labor over time. The garden becomes easier, not harder, because biology takes over the workload. If this guide helped you understand what's really happening beneath your garden, do subscribe to Evergreen Garden for more deep, practical knowledge that actually works. Share this with a fellow gardener who's still fighting their soil instead of feeding it. And leave a comment below about what changes you're planning to make this season. Healthy gardens start underground, and once you get that right, everything else just falls into place.